All right, folks, so welcome back. In the service manual, in the steps to remove the engine, it does not specify this. However, I don't think there's any way around it, is removing the exhaust manifold. I don't know why that wasn't specified in the steps for removing the engine. There is a section titled removing the exhaust manifold where it does tell you how to do it, but it doesn't specify that it needs to be done to remove the engine. However, I can't imagine getting the supercharger out underneath it without doing it. Maybe somebody knows a trick and we'll leave that in the comments, but I'm just not that good. So I've taken it upon myself to try and remove this. Now, this is a pain. Inevitably, whenever you do a project like this, you end up cursing an engineer somewhere about where they put a bolt. And this is that portion of this process. I hope this is the hardest part of this process because I was stumped by one bolt for 4 days. And I'm going to show you why. You're going to use a 12 millimeter wrench and a couple of other special things that I'll show you in a second, but you've got to remove these two nuts off the studs. Then you've got to get at these 1, 2, 3 bolts. There's another 4th bolt down there. Then there's 2 bolts behind the collector. I'm going to try and get in there as best as I can, but you can see them here. They are not easy to get to. These are the things that stymie me for days. So there's this one right here, and then there's another one. You can't even see it with the camera behind here. And then you've got another bolt down here. So there's 4 across the top, 1 is hidden behind here, then there's 3 across the bottom, and 1's hidden behind here. And in order to get that out, I started with an offset wrench, and then I had to cut the offset wrench because the other end stuck out this way and hit the hull every time I tried to use it. So I had to cut it in order to get it to use it. Then once I cracked the bolt, this part began to contact the manifold and lift off the nut, so it wouldn't do me any more good. Then I went back and forth looking at a bunch of tools, and I ended up getting this really slim socket wrench. It's very simple. It doesn't ratchet or anything. It was $10 on Amazon for a pack of 2, a 1/4 inch and a 3/8. And this got the job done. I spent days looking at different combinations, and this is what ended up getting the job done. I will put a link to this. It's on Amazon. Do yourself a favor. Just get one before you start. This will solve all your problems. That's how I got the 2 bolts off that were between the exhaust manifold and the hull. It's less than an inch of room. And you're not getting a socket wrench in there unless it's shaved down or some kind of specialty tool. But that did the job. Now, aside from this center one up here, the other one that's a pain in the butt is this one. I forgot about that one. So you're going to get to see me work on one of these really tight ones. You can see the clearance there. I can barely get my finger between the top of this slim ratchet and the hull. And these things are on pretty tight and have been heat cycled. You know, not a lot of torque, but there we go. And that's the cracking sound you want to hear. All right, so we've got them all now. 2 studs. Remove the nuts. Four top bolts, all loose. 1, 2, that bad boy, 3. 3 bottom bolts, all loose. And there she goes. Oh, you don't know how good that is to hear, folks. And there it is, our wonderful exhaust manifold. Coated in oil on the bottom a little bit. There's the supercharger. Yeah, there's oil all over this thing, which is why we're doing this job to begin with. So that is how you get off the exhaust manifold.